in-house items or whatever that we're gonna turn over to Mr. Adam Wood. Everybody should know him by now. He's Mr. Negotiator. On the short sale side, Mr. Short Sale Guru, our own personal guru. He's good. He's real good. But I'll say that for my introduction.
Oh, software issues, he was supported.
Yeah, that's correct.
You on now or something, if I can get my client to do what
Absolutely.
he's supposed to do.
Well, trust me, when he get in his little part, you'll be in like,
Is Angela gonna be here? Angela?
she's in
Gulfstream?
CPD class.
Good.
CCD.
Yeah, there you go. She's gonna have to-
CDPE,
Yeah.
Certified Distress Property Expert.
Okay. Couple of in-house items we want to put on the table. First and foremost, just want to put, as we said, as of Monday, next day first is independently owned and operated by this office. We don't have any more ties as it pertains to next day, so everything, ties have been cut. What that means is that all this going back and forth from, excuse me, Valda and her father, whatever, you don't have to listen to it anymore. We are totally separated as of Monday. Everything's been signed, contract's been signed, money's been paid, owed, everything is solidified. With that being said, though, as we discussed earlier, we have to ensure that everybody's going to closing, whatever the closing may be, we have to make sure we have that addendum saying that you are closing on the next stage first. Because if you don't, some of the stuff has already been uploaded in the Validum Next Stage Selects FMM system opposed to our system. Corporate already told us what we have to do. We still have to upload all our contract stuff on our side of Next Stage first as well. But once you go to the closing table, you have to make sure we have an addendum stating that the contract and everything is being addendum to close on the next stage first, so the check comes here. And therefore I can assure you can get paid properly on that term. So it's very important that we make sure all the contracts are uploaded to FMM and we do addendum, they have to buy. And like I said, you can wait till you go to the closing table itself if need be. But we got to make sure that it is signed at least for the next couple of months. So we make sure everything is clear and there's an understanding. Because my understanding now, talking with corporate, because I was in a different illusion. Once the check is cut here, the office actually cuts your commission check, not corporate. So if the money come here, it's their responsibility to pay the check. We won't have to wait for the check to come back from one way, we have to come back to New York. But two, we don't have to wait for it to come back from Georgia, so your commission cut will be coming from here. And the sale bonuses and stuff of that nature come from corporate. So that's a separate check altogether. Okay. So that's, like I said, it's imperative that you make sure the dinner's in here, the check comes here, and then you get paid from here within, Sid is saying within a day, I'm saying at least 72 hours. At least 72 hours, so we don't get a mad rush, okay? Go ahead.
Johnny, like any buyer broker agreements that we have that were under Next Stage Select Realty, we need to get those buyers to sign a new buyer broker? Okay.
Well, I mean, if you already have a contract in place, meaning they already put something.
Well, one of them I withdrew, but now I do have another contract, and I wrote this contract under Next Stage First Realty,
Okay.
but the buyer broker still says Next Stage Select Realty too.
Well, theoretically speaking, every time you show a person a different house, you will have another buyer broker's agreement with them.
Okay.
A buyer broker agreement is only per house. Per house, it's a protection for that particular house.
Okay.
You know, so generally speaking and whatnot, you're supposed to go ahead and do one every time you show another house.
Okay.
Show another house, yes. Yes, it's supposed to. So, any new one before you put in contract, the new buyer breaker agreement should be with Next Stage first.
Okay.
All right, any other questions under that topic? Okay. Also, at the beginning of every year, typically, First Bank of Atlanta gives out like a $15,000 grant towards home ownerships and whatnot. Different lenders, different local lenders, they send it to different brokers and banks in our local jurisdiction and whatnot. So we have to find out who those brokers, who those people are, because the money goes quickly. It goes quickly and whatnot. And they dump certain amount of millions in certain particular areas and whatnot. But that's always a big push if you, and I'll run around and see if we find them. If y'all talk to y'all lenders, find out if they're included in this, First Bank of Atlanta's, grant funding and whatnot. Like I said, they give them up to $15,000 towards home ownership and whatnot. So that'd be a good advertising point if you wanna push Craigslist and different things as well. If you push it, I'm sure I know enough lenders I know some people that some brokers or whatever that we can always call on, that I know that always get it every year or whatnot. So if you wanna start pushing on your Craigslist ad, by all means do so. And we they said also want to make sure we get an update on a spreadsheet. Every buyer, every contract, everything we got that you guys are working on, we need some type of update on it, and in a sense of a spreadsheet, email or whatnot. But give us a breakdown on what we're looking at and what we can do as an office to help you move this stuff along. And to make sure legally we're in compliance and make sure everything's on the FMN and all the other stuff or whatnot. So we need to get that from everybody as soon as possible. Also, he wants to make sure that everyone is still marketing the different things, the different services that we offer. Everybody got that incentive packet about the different things you can do outside of a closing and whatnot. Utilize that. Utilize it. There's a lot of money and iPads and everything else that can be that can keep everybody afloat in this difficult time until transactions close or whatnot. So I'm not gonna go into details about that, but we know what the incentives are and whatnot. And I'll get you a packet some more. It's another promotion stuff that we're doing here in the house, in the office. Now we have our Keithia on the rental stuff, particularly in the Prince George, in the Maryland side or whatnot. We haven't worked out the deals with Virginia and BC just yet. Now she responded back saying that she wanted her flat fee is $100 per transaction per rentals that's close to her office or whatnot. So I want to put that on the table right now. Are you guys okay with that?
So the rental fee is $100?
Yeah, from her. If we let anything close under her, using her brokerage here in Maryland. Now keep in mind.
So it's only $100 regardless whatever the rental.
Yeah, whatever rental fee. Now keep in mind on the other end, if we run it under next stage or whatnot, the franchise got to get their cut. Somebody got to get their cut. CA got to get their cut. The broker got to get their cut.
And you end up with $32.
Yeah, you end up with $32.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know I did.
Paying like these ones
Yeah.
paying 25%.
Yeah, because I know I tried it one time. I think with a $500 commission check, I got like $125 when it was all said and done.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't wanna run them on the next stage in the franchise. So again, I'm putting out there now, the negotiation with the Keithia that she said she'll charge a $100 flat fee. Now, we still need to get what's said to find out what the company's making off it on this end and whatnot.
Right.
But I can assure you, it's a whole different fee if we're on the next stage. You know? So we agree to say $100 for her or whatever, then we know that's a flat fee regardless.
That's
on
it.
on her spirit. So we know we can close them in Maryland with that.
Okay.
It's up to negotiation how we deal with it on the said side. You know, but again, I want to see if we head in the right direction. If it's something else we need to do, but are we okay with the $100 flat fee? At least being able to close in Maryland rentals.
So she's in charge. I thought she was just doing Virginia. So she's over.
Yeah.
She's doing Virginia. She's handling Virginia on the broker side, as regular listings and buying and selling stuff on the Virginia side.
For next stage.
For next stage. Next stage. She has her own real estate company, her own brokerage under Maryland that she's operating as well simultaneously. And again, because of the franchise structure, whatever, we don't want you to get killed dealing with rental properties if we send money there or whatnot. So we're looking at an alternative way of being able to close, because right now it's an open market for rentals or whatnot. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have to entertain it if you want to stay in real estate for a minute right now. So we're trying to find the best approach of dealing with that without making it comfortable that you can still do it without saying, I'm still being broke, I'm doing a lot of work for $32.
Right.
So that's why we're looking at that. Now, if I have to go back and over my brokerage and do it and whatnot, we don't agree, then, I would do that. But to keep things simple, that's what she agreed to do right now. So again, if you guys are okay with it, then we can move further with saying, I can give it okay, yeah, it's okay, we got the understanding. Like I said, if we see it now, by the time we meet again, I'll have a better understanding of how the pay structure be broken down here. But I can assure you, it's not gonna be as worse as going through next stage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, so if we can say a vote in hand from where we're at right now, it's okay to say the $100 flat fee for a keep fee.
Is there going to be some type of official form that we would fill out? to-
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have all that.
They said
Because
they
I
had-
have one that's up and coming.
Okay,
So basically, it would be $100 plus whatever you all will take out as
Correct.
well,
correct.
and that's it outside of that.
That's it outside of that. That's it outside of that. I mean, my thing right now, I'm a possibly say that says what now says, I keep taking 100, and this broker take 100. We call it $200 flat fee, period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cause you saying on average, on average, on the low end, you should get about like $500 and on up. If you get anything less than $500,
Yeah.
It may not be,
I doubt that's gonna happen. So if you can walk away with $300 out of $500 transaction, that's still not bad.
Mm-mm.
But at least if we said
But
some
if
flat
it's
fee.
$300, you all would still take two.
No, well, we can negotiate. We can negotiate. I don't think on the Keithy end, I don't think she's gonna negotiate us. So we can say that off the top, that's gonna be a flat fee.
Oh.
Right,
Okay.
Flat fee. But what I don't wanna do is jump all around and whatnot. It's a case by case basis and whatnot, and everything's negotiated, and then you get mad because you don't think you get what you want to get.
Right.
But if you know what you got to deal with at the top of your head and whatnot,
Right.
then you would know, okay, I'm gonna get $200 on top. I got to pay somebody $200. And you know this. So if it's $300, okay, I'll take a hit on the $300. I might only get $100 off this and whatnot, but I know if I keep doing them or whatever, that's $500, $400 and so forth and so on and whatnot. But I prefer to have a flat fee. So I don't like surprises.
Right.
Well, you gonna find out what says.
Yeah, I find. But I'm going with him saying $100.
Mhm. And that gives us a guideline too, because if we're dealing with a rental, say for instance, it's a $600 rent,
Correct.
then you may not even want to deal with that because you're only getting 300,
Correct.
and then we want to give two. So that gives us a guideline too in
Correct.
So
terms of
we don't
based on
charge
our
a
business.
rent fee, because we used to charge that at X. That's what I wanted to ask you, like, we used to charge like a $50 rent fee.
Oh yeah, you can still do that.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the commission.
That was
How
what
we
I used to keep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the commission side.
That was
So that's
in
to take
addition.
people out.
Yeah, in addition, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can still do that.
In some cases, we would charge them once the lease gets signed, but we had the right to even charge them up front
Mhm.
once the lease gets signed.
Mhm.
No, up front, go ahead. Go ahead. That's fine. I'm just talking about on the back end once it comes to the office.
Right.
Okay.
Because I do know agents right now, they hold open houses for rentals and whatnot. They charge everybody that comes through there $75 to $100 to come in. They
Mhm.
put in an application, no one person gonna get it.
Right.
But I know agents sitting there making money off of,
Just showing.
just showing rentals.
They do what?
They sit there and charge an application fee for everybody to come through the house, to their open house for a rental property. They charge an application fee.
If they want to put application.
If they want to put an application in,
Mhm.
knowing only one person will get it, but that's all they do, they're a professional renter person. if you
Get
will.
money sometimes.
Yeah, that's still a hustle, whatnot. But, okay, but again, we okay, we gonna go with the $100 for the
Yeah.
keep on. But like I said, I was talking to Sid and whatnot, and I try to say, on my part, that's what I'm going to say, $100 in the office here. Okay, it's up to Sid to make a final determination, but that's what I'm proposing to him on that end. All right. So on that note, we also have the office manager supposed to be starting on Monday. What's her name again? Deidre? I forgot Deidre's last name.
Should be sitting right there.
I don't know the details on that and whatnot. But Deidre, the office manager, supposed to start on Monday and whatnot. When we get more details during the next meeting on next Monday and whatnot, she'll probably be headed up or whatever, and give her a formal introduction, and we'll work out how things will roll from there. But she's supposed to start on Monday. On that end. That's pretty much all I have off the top of my head right now. Is there any other topic of discussions or any things pending that we need to discuss, or are there some case studies that we need to put out on the table or anything before we allow our guests to partake? We ain't a guest no more.
I'm part of next stage, you guys know that,
That's
right?
right. Uh-huh.
So he's gonna pump up some stuff in a little bit, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But anything else up to the table that we need to put out?
Well, I'm still thinking about the housing fair in June, but I think with Deidre coming on board, she has so many good ideas of how
Correct.
we could pull that together.
Correct.
We could probably table that until she's actually here.
She's gonna take the lead on that.
Oh, okay.
She's actually
Okay,
gonna take the lead on
good.
that and whatnot, because we are, and Basker's doing some tremendous work on that as well.
Mhm.
It's just that we haven't we supposed to sit down and have a brainstorming session towards how we're gonna handle it as an office. That hasn't
Right.
happened yet.
Mhm.
And again, once Deidre come in and whatnot from the office manager side, on the administrative side, because I'm not an administrative person, everybody knows that and whatnot. And we need someone to come in and push some buttons, from the whole office perspective and whatnot. And that's what her role is. So all that will be addressed at the next meeting, along with, it was somebody else, supposed to be coming at the next meeting, the guy to deal with the 203K. It might have been, worker room. Well, anyway, I think me and, I forgot his name now, Linda that deals strictly with 203K. So the next meeting is gonna be around the 203K. The loan portion and how to deal with it, the whole 9 yards and whatnot. So that's part of our next class. On next week, along with the office manager coming in and whatnot. With that being said, without further ado, everybody know that my great partner, Mr. Allen, we go way back, again, him and his staff. Bar none, you can't touch him as it pertains to short sale. Like I said, if Alan is real laid back and cool. Selena, she's a beast. So if Selena ever give you a call, a phone call or email or whatever, you better respond.
How many of you deal with Selena? I never heard you do.
She's no joke. She laughs and cuts you up at the same time, but it's imperative. When she calls, it's only because she have to call.
Exactly.
So if you can imagine how she deal with us, just imagine when she talks to the Lindas on the other side. Like I said, she's a beast. She's a beast and whatnot. So you all are coordinate with her with us. Y'all see Alan smiling, but Selena don't smile. But things get done. But anyway,
There's a beast behind his mind.
yeah, that's a whole other story in itself. But again, me and Alan been working together a long time, and like you said, he is a part of Next Stage. In fact, him and I came on Next Stage together, on the back end. So behind the scenes, he is my partner, as it pertains to Next Stage and whatnot, on that end and whatnot. But again, on the short sale, he goes around the country dealing with short sales. So pretty much any state, his company can handle it and whatnot. They do all the way out in California. In fact, I get phone calls sometimes thinking I'm a listening agent out in California. Because me and him, and we work together where they see my name saying, oh, don't you, no, I don't go out there. Not yet, but however, next stage I will be. So I ain't gonna go in and belabor the point. I'm gonna open up the table for Alan and whatnot and let him get on his short sales deal. And we are recording, so.
Okay.
Future references.
Okay, well, thank you very much for everybody to give me this opportunity to come up here to meet up with everyone. Well, I don't think I need to talk about short sale per se too much, just because it's out there and this is the business. Just a little bit our experience or our history in terms of doing short sale. We actually started the short sale negotiation all the way back in 2006. Okay. And at that point, we started out as an investor negotiating with the lender to create what we call equity in the property. At that point, everybody knows that the property is selling at 100%, the amount of loans are 100% loan, and there's not much equity in it. But by doing short sale negotiations, we are able to create equity in the property so that we can purchase and we can fix it up, whatever that we need to do. That's how we got started as a short sale negotiation company. One thing leads to another. 2007, 2008 hits, the market turned, and we were just riding the wave. And all of a sudden, we realized there's so much business out there. There's so many agents out there that run into short sale. They have no idea what to do with it. And so what we end up doing is to helping agents to negotiate short sales, and they will still do the listings, just like probably you guys already experienced. You still do the listings, but however, one thing about short sale is it's not a traditional transaction, real estate transaction anymore. It involves negotiating with the lender, negotiating with the buyer, negotiating with the seller. There's a lot of negotiation involved. What happened, what I've seen out there is that a lot of the agent call themselves short sale expert, but yet, however, cannot get the short sale through. It's because pretty much when we go to real estate school, the real estate school never really taught you how to negotiate. Right? What they do is they put you in a box, what you cannot do. They never can tell you that what you can do, right? So however, short sale is a totally different new area in terms of a real estate transaction. So a lot of the agents do not have the training in terms of negotiating, or do not know how to handle with so many different parties, how to put everything together. many times when you talk about short sale, you have first lien, you have second lien, how you're going to deal with the both liens, and especially they are not the same lender. And sometimes you on top of it, you add on the HOA lien, you add the mechanics lien, you have judgments and all kind of stuff onto it. So that's what I've seen out there. A lot of people are doing short sales, but however, the statistic really is that it's approximately 20-30% of the short sale out there actually got closed. And the other 60-70%, they just, got into foreclosure. So what we do is to provide that service with our expertise to the agents that do not really do many short sales, but they have the short sale listings, so we can come in. We do all the dirty work behind the scene, and you still do what a real estate agent's supposed to do, which is listing the property, dealing with the buyers or the sellers, and let us handle all the negotiation behind the scene. And it, when the approval comes out, then we all go to closing, and we all, make a buck out of it. Okay, so pretty much that's what we do. Currently, we are negotiating approximately 110 short sale file in our pipeline right now. Okay, about 110. The max that we ever have is up to 220. That was back in 2008, 2009. But what we decided to do is to cut down some of the agents that we deal with. A lot of the agents that we deal with back then, they have no idea what they're doing, and it just adds another layer of complexity on top of the already the short sale, the process. So we fine tune our system. So we decided to work with agents like JB, like Next Stage, like agents that we have close relationship with. That way, we can be more focused on dealing with more short sales, and at the same time that can create more profit for everybody. Okay. So for today's, what I wanted to do is to just give everybody a brief introduction. If you've never done a short sale before, if you've never listening short sale before, I just want to give you an idea what's going on out there, what the market looks like. And then I think the best way for us to learn is a small group right here. I will open it up to the floor and see what question you have. That way probably it will be better suited for our today's presentation format. Okay. So now in terms of short sale, obviously a lot of people ask me, hey, Alan, you've been in the industry for a while since we're doing this thing since 2006. People ask me, how long do I think that short sale is going to last? Tell you the truth, when I started back in 2006, I thought that by the time 2009, 2010 comes, everything should be settled down. We should be out of this short sale business, and we need to look for something else. I still remember when I did my first presentation, right? We have like 60, 70 people in our training room, and JB was one of them. And that's our expectation, because we have no idea how big this thing is, and nobody knew, right? So today, when you look at the market, I think it's my question to ask you, right? How long do you think short sale is going to last? For a while, exactly. Well, let me give you a few points, right? When I started the short sale business, a lot of the clients came to us are people that not supposed to purchase a house because of all those creative loans and M&T loans, whatever, those all crazy loans out there that allow people to purchase the property even with very, very low income. So when I started out, I would have to say that majority of my clients came from that pool of homeowners. Period. They're not supposed to purchase property. But then when time progressed, the second wave of client that I see are those people that used to have good incomes, but however, the economy hits, and husband and wife, they're supposed to, pay the mortgage together, but all of a sudden the wife lost the income, or the husband lost the income, or reduced income, whatever that might be. They couldn't afford it all of a sudden. So those are the second wave of clients that I see. And then the next wave of clients that I see, not recently for the past year or two, are actually people that can afford the properties, but they decided to strategically walk away from it. It's just because, for example, I purchased this property for $500,000 or $300,000, whatever that might be, and I'm a good homeowner. I have been paying for the mortgage all day long, but however, I cannot refinance just because I'm a good guy. Right? There's no such program out there from the government allow me to refinance because the value dropped already, and there's no any program out there that can help me out to do a loan modification because they say that, hey, I make so much money, I don't qualify for it. Yet somebody right next door, same property, that guy decided to not to pay for the mortgage, but he or she can get so many help from the government. So now I'm the good guy. How do you think I would feel about it? why do I need to be a good guy? I have been punished being a good guy. So I've seen a lot of clients walk away from their property. If that is the case, let me walk away from this. I purchased this thing for $300,000 and now only worth about $150,000. I walk away from it. I purchased the exact same house down the street for $150,000 and let this one go. And that's what I've seen. I'm not sure if you guys seen something like that before. Okay, so that's what I've seen. That's the next wave. And then with the first, second, and third, all combined, mixed up, and also with the economy. Okay, I don't know what happened out there. I don't know who's going to be next presidents, but the reality is the economy is in a very bad situation. A lot of people are still losing jobs. Literally every single week we have people call us saying that, hey, Alan, what can I do? A lot of the investors used to holding multiple properties, and they still have that false hope. One day, the economy is going to turn around. They keep putting renters in the property, and hopefully the rent can compensate with the mortgage. But again, we know what the story is. So a lot of those people are also coming out of the wood and just couldn't afford the property anymore and just let it go. So those are all the facts out there. Now let's talk about the regular homeowner. Let's say a lot of people purchased property back in 2005, 2006, when the market is at the peak. So let's say this property is $300,000, okay? And let's say these people, they have been paying for their mortgage, they're good, they have no intention whatsoever to walk away from the property. Now, when this property dropped down from $300,000 down to $150,000, how long do you think it would take this property back to $300,000 with your expertise?
It's never gonna get there.
Never gonna get back. Well, let's not use the word never.
360. I say unless the economy do a dramatic change,
Right.
that's the only way.
Absolutely. So let's say don't use the word never, right? So how about next 10 years? Do you think for the next 10 years it will go back up to 300,000?
Nope.
Let's hope. Let's be a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah, I think 10 years
Right.
is feasible, because real estate is cyclical.
Exactly.
Not
It is
right.
cyclical.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Okay.
For some
it
Not
has
in
But
our
it's saying-
lifetime.
Right.
I'll
So-
put it that way, not in our lifetime.
Okay.
It just
So-
seems like this
So
time
let's
around-
keep our optimism. Okay. Let's say 10 years. Okay. Let's say 10 years. Okay. So which means that from 2006 to 2016, right?
We hope that's something.
We hope, because 2016 is 4 years from now. Let's say 10 years from today. Okay, would that be? Okay, so 10 years from today will be 2022, right? So now imagine somebody purchased the property at $300,000 in 2006. Now, we all know a lot of people do not stay in that house for the next 10 years. They need to move. Now, for these people to move and they have to sell their properties, they are good homeowners, right? Now, let's say they have to sell their properties. Can they sell it at $300,000? And we all just say that, hey, the property will go back to $300,000 in 222, right? So let's say they want to sell this property anytime before 20, whatever that year is, 2022, right? My philosophy is it got to be a short sale, because that property's value is still below $300,000, right? So that creates a lot of opportunities for real estate agent like you and I to get into the short sale business, to help these homeowners to get out of the property. And now, again, if this good guy selling the property short sale, that will just keep prolonging the real estate market to get back to its original level. So again, people ask me, how long do I think? I don't know, it's realistically, but at least for the next 10 years. Right? At least for the next 10 years, we still have a lot of short sale coming out, a lot of REOs, a lot of D&Os, and a lot of foreclosures. So, and again, it all depends on what the government is going to do and how they're going to help us out. And quite frankly, I don't think that they can do much to, I think whatever they can do is already done. Putting in money into it, all the HEM program, all the HAFA program, a lot of money already dumped into the hole, but it's still, the situation is still like what it is today. So what is that being said, what I want to point out is that there is a huge opportunity out there for real estate agents that in the short sale business and know what's going on with the short sale business. And that's why we are here to help everybody out. Your job is to go out there to get the listings as much as possible, fill up the pipeline. And our job is to help you to negotiate that short sale so that this property can be sold. Okay? So hopefully you see the opportunity, how big an opportunity out there. I was just listening to you guys and you were talking about $100 here, $300 there. It's a lot of money to a lot of people. But however, the much bigger picture is that if you load up 50 short sales, not even 50. If you load up 20 short sales, 50 short sales in that pipeline, your income is over 6 digits, easily. Your income is over 6 digits easily, okay? And so now short sale. So what do you need to do a short sale? Obviously, the first thing is that for your client, you need to let your client know that, hey, I'm not a traditional real estate agent who's trying to sell your property. What I'm here to do is a little bit more. I'm here to do is to help you to get out of your financial situation that you're owning a property that is upside down, you cannot afford to it. Don't let this property go into foreclosure. Now let's talk about this subject a little bit, about foreclosure. How many people here knows that, what is the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure?
Well, I know with the foreclosure, the bank owns the property.
Right.
And a short sale, you still own your property.
Okay.
That's one of the.
What happened after the foreclosure? Let's say the property is foreclosed versus the property is short sale. What happened to the homeowner?
You have to get out, right?
You have to get
Okay,
out.
but you have to get out anyway.
But the
Okay.
bank can also put a delinquency judgment against
Absolutely.
you for the difference between what they sold the
Absolutely,
house for.
that is the most important thing.
Okay.
A lot of the homeowners do not know. A lot of homeowners saying that, hey, I cannot afford it, I just walk away. Okay? Foreclosure is this: when you foreclose the property, just like they'll say, let's say the property is $300,000, and now the property worth about $150,000. So you do not pay, the bank took the property back, and they have to put it on the market. The bank do not hold properties, right? So they foreclose the property, they auction out the property at the courthouse. So let's say they sell it for $150,000. So the original loan amount is $300,000, the sold price is $150,000. Let's say they add all the fees into it, the lawyer's fee, the foreclosure fee, and everything into it, and there's another $20,000. So 320 minus 150. So now you have a delinquent, a judgment, a deficiency of $170,000.
That you have to try to come up with.
That you still have to pay back the bank. The bank saying that, okay, even I took the property back, you still owe me $170,000. I will put a judgment on you. Now, obviously, they have to go through the legal system before they can put a judgment on the homeowner. But that is very easy to do. Okay, that's very easy for the court to do. Once they put a judgment on the homeowner, obviously the homeowner does not have $170,000 to it, right? Do you know what the court can do? I mean, the lender can do? They can do a lot of different things. The first thing they can do is to do what they call a deposition. Okay, so I summon you. Okay, I have a judgment on you. I call you up. You come to my place. You come to my office. Show me what you have. You need to show me your bank statement. You show me your bank account. You need to show me your 401k, RIA, all the things under your name. And now I decide what can I take from you. Okay. Now let's say you don't have none of those. Okay, you don't have a car. You don't have none of those. That's fine. You have a job, right? That's fine. If you have a job, you need to tell me where you work. And once I find out where you work, I don't even need to talk to you anymore. I can just go to the HR. I show them my judgment on you. Every single paycheck, that's called a garnish your salary. Every single paycheck, I can get a portion of that, off your paycheck coming me tomorrow until the $170,000 is paid off. That's scary, isn't it? Unfortunately, a lot of the people do not know that. So that is why you and we need to educate our homeowner. Hey, don't walk away from it. You know what the scary thing is? A lot of the lender, once they send out the judgment, once they got the judgment, a lot of the lender, they would just sit back, relax.
Because they can take your tax money too, right?
They cannot take a tax money. They can take a tax refund money.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Tax refund.
Exactly.
That's what I meant to say.
But a lot of times they would just sit back because they know the
This
economy
one
is bad
approved
right now.
entrance, right?
Right.
The
They-
170 on approved entrance.
Absolutely. So they know the economy is bad. Okay. You might not have a job right now. You might not have money right now. But I wait, because once I have that judgment on you, if I remember correctly, it would be good for the next, I think either 10 years or 12 years. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the exact number. But let's say good for the next 10 years. And I can renew that one more time, which means that for the next 20 years, I can come after you. So again, let's say for the next 10 years, the economy comes back up and your income comes in. And now, then I hate you. At that point, you purchase a house. You didn't know, right? You purchase another house, you purchase a car, economy is good, you spend money again. Now, then I come out. I say, okay, now you got a house, boom. I attach my judgment on your house. You cannot sell that house anymore.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
Now you know.
I didn't know.
Now you know, huh? Now you know, yes. Boom, I attach my judgment on your house. You have any other property, boom, I attach to it. So you cannot get away from it. You stuck. You stuck. I will guarantee myself to get my $170,000 back.
So you all can negotiate
Absolutely.
the
So when,
difference.
absolutely. So
Present.
when we negotiate, okay, let me just finish off this part
Okay.
first, okay? So you know how severe the consequences is.
Yeah.
And that is why you and I, as an agent, we need to educate our client that, hey, you know, you're not just walking away from it. When a foreclosure is done, that is when the mess is going to start. However, short sale is a totally different story. Short sale is a negotiation between the homeowner with the bank to negotiate a term and condition so that the bank will sell this property, allow the homeowners to sell this property, and also will not come after for the homeowner. Once the short sale is done, the mess will start to settle. The homeowner can start their life all over again through a series of negotiation. Now, when we negotiate, what do we negotiate? A few things. Number one, on behalf of the homeowner, we negotiate with the lender that allow the homeowners to sell this property at the market value. Yes, they purchased at $300,000, doesn't matter. Today, the market value is $150,000. There's no way that you can get $300,000 back. Right? So we negotiate a purchase price. The second thing that we negotiate is the deficiencies of this property. So again, just like what we said, the homeowner purchased the property at $300,000. Now down to $150,000. We negotiate with the lender. Don't come after the homeowner for the $150,000 anymore. The homeowner doesn't have money. Okay? We have many different ways for the lenders to agree. And as a matter of fact, we have closed over 200, close to 250 short sales already since we started business. And I have to say that the majority of the short sale that we closed, the homeowner walked away from the short sale all free and clear. They have no more obligation, no more talent, a string attached to it. They're just out of this thing free and clear.
Hit the credit or anything.
Well, credit is not an issue,
Okay.
right? Let's talk about credit later on, but let's
Okay.
just talk about short sale itself, right? So that's the second thing we negotiate, is to have the lender to forgive the deficiency balance. That's the second thing. The third thing that we negotiate is the commissions and the transfer taxes, all the expenses associated with selling this property. So as we all know, in a good day, when somebody sells their property, the seller is supposed to pay for the agent's commission, the transfer taxes, the title fees, sometimes the homeowners, the buyers, closing costs help, and all those things, right? But obviously, it's a short sale, homeowner does not have it, so we negotiate with the lender. We have the lenders to pay for all these. So the homeowner ideally does not have to come up with a penny when they go to the closing, and that is actually happening every single day in our shop. Okay, so that's the third thing that we negotiate for the homeowner. The next thing we also negotiate with the homeowner is some relocation money. So we even sometimes ask the lender, hey, the homeowner cannot move out. Can you give the homeowner $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to just have them to move out? But obviously, all these need to be negotiated with the lender. So that's what we negotiate for real estate agents and the sellers. So the goal is, by the time everything's set and settled, when the approval letter comes out, it spells exactly what we asked for. The homeowner get out of this property free and clear. The agent, you still get your commissions, and sometimes the homeowner will get some money, and we all move on. And the lender will get the most money out of the transaction. So we try to create a win-win-win situation for everybody. And by the time this thing is all said and done, and everybody's happy and move on with their life,
The lender
and
will pay you all too.
absolutely, the lender will pay our fee as well. Okay, so pretty much that is what we do. That's the difference between foreclosure and short sales. Now, as an agent, what do you need to watch out? Obviously, education is very important. All right, when you approach to a short sale candidate, they are very concerned about their situation. Well, it's the property from the foreclosure, what happened with foreclosure. So now you have the information to educate your client what will happen if the property goes into foreclosure. Okay, what they need to be watch out for. And now the homeowner will ask you about loan modification. Okay, there's a big, huge topic out there, loan modification. We used to do loan modification to help our homeowner in our shop, but then we decided not to do it. The reason is we feel it's just a joke. Out of all these loan modifications that you hear out there, the national statistic, according to what we see, the national statistic is only 4% of success rate. 4%. And quite frankly, a lot of our clients, short sale client nowadays, they already gone through loan modification and still couldn't afford the property. And they still, at the end, still decided to do the short sale. Now, I cannot prove this, okay? I cannot prove this, but I have a good feeling about why they do loan modification. Again, I cannot prove this, okay? So don't purpose this. But I cannot approve this. I cannot prove this, but I have a good feeling about why they do it. I think it's actually a trap, okay? A trap. So, few reasons for the lenders to do it. Number one, obviously the government saying that, hey, give a chance to the homeowner. Okay, I do it. The second reason is for me to delay the foreclosure, because if the property goes to foreclosure as a lender, I would need to spend a lot of money on it. I have to find an attorney, I have to go to court and all this kind of stuff. It costs me the money. And also, when I foreclose the property, I already assume that the homeowner is not paying me mortgage. So I'm losing money every single month if I cannot get that property back, okay? So when I offer a loan modification, at least the homeowner is paying me back on a monthly basis. I have some sort of income. And if I have some sort of income as a lender, I can still claim this loan a good debt, a good loan, right? I still have money coming in. So when I still have a good loan, I can do what? I can actually sell this loan to other investors. So I can actually get rid of it that way. I can sell it to someone else. It happened all the time that, you know, when we do the negotiation, and all of a sudden one day, the lender told us that, hey, we don't have this loan anymore. It's already sold it to someone else. Probably you guys already experienced that, right? So that's one way, okay? I still have income, and I can sell it. But I think the most important thing is that when somebody applies for a loan modification as a lender, I already know sooner or later this homeowner is not going to keep this property. So I cannot keep this property either through foreclosure or short sale, most likely short sale. Now, loan modification and short sale are two different things. Short sale, you show the lender that you don't have money, and then the lender allows financial difficulties, right? Then the lender will allow you to go through a short sale. However, loan modification is different. Loan modification is that you show the lender that you have money to keep the property by modifying the loan. So as a lender, I provide you a loan modification. At that point, I get as much financial information from you as possible. Your bank statement, your 401k, your retirement, all the stuff that I can get from you. And then once I get all this thing back, somehow, somewhat, I say that you do not qualify. Have you heard something? You know, somehow, somewhat, I say that, hey, you cannot qualify for loan modification. It forces you to do a what? To do a short sale. And now when you do a short sale, you show the lender, you're supposed to show the lender that you don't have money. But now the lender already got all your financial information. I know what you got. Yeah. See, that's what happened when a lot of the homeowners come into our shop, and then when they do a short sale, they provide us the financial information. But when we start the negotiation with the lender, all of a sudden the lender is saying that, hey, how come you do not provide me all the financial information? What about this? What about that? That we don't even have the information. I'm just surprised. How did you get all this information? They're saying that, well, they applied for a loan modification. I got you for a short sale. You only show me your bank statement. But however, I have their I have 401k, IRA. I got all their financial statement. Why you are not sending me those information?
Because they didn't give it to you.
They didn't give it to me.
And let me ask you, for a short sale, are you required to show, like, if you have an IRA or a retirement?
Let me talk about that later.
Okay,
let me talk about that later. Now, for this, once the lender already know what you have, and now you're trying to give the lender less than what you provided before, you know what, the lender's saying that, hey, you're playing trick on me. Now the negotiation becomes harder.
Yeah.
Now they're asking for promissory notes. Now they're asking for cash contribution. Now they're asking for all kind of stuff. So the point is, if your client do want to go through a loan modification, let them to think twice. Okay, do you really want to go through loan modification? Because the lender's going to ask you for all these things. And the reality is that 95% of the time you're not going to get a loan modification. Then what are you going to do? So, you know, and it's our jobs to help the homeowners to find out what would be the best solution for this homeowner. If indeed loan modification is the way to go, yeah, by all means go through it. But if short sale is, ultimately you have to go through short sale, then let's think about not go through some other steps that is unnecessary, which might even harm you in the sometimes down the road. Okay, so that's what happened. That's again, I cannot prove it, but that's how I feel about it, and that's what we seen in our shop every single day. Okay, now you have a question about when you do a short sale, what do you need to show? Okay, now for a short sale, my position is this: show what you're supposed to show, what you feel comfortable to show to the lender. The lender does not specifically ask you for 401k, IRA, mutual fund, and all this kind of stuff. The lender is asking for your bank statement. So the more you show to the lender, the more the lender will have. If the lender only asks you to show the bank statement, that's all you need to show. If they don't ask for any other things, any other financial statements, then you don't need to show. And as a matter of fact, that's what I suggest my clients to do also. When you start the negotiation, just show them. Again, it's negotiation, right? It's just like playing card. You don't want to show your component everything.
Right.
You want to show them one thing. And if they want to, perfectly fine, because they're asking for bank statement. You show them bank statement. And if they think that, let me show you more stuff, then we show them more stuff. If they don't ask, we don't show. Okay? So that is my philosophy. And as a matter of fact, 90% of the time, the lender will not come back and ask for more unless they feel something fishy. Then they will come back and ask for more. So for example, let's say we have clients that making hundreds and thousands of dollars, and in the bank statement they only show like $2 right there. It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. So in that case, extreme cases, then the lender would ask for it. But I would say majority of the time they don't ask for it, just because there's so many short sales. Each negotiator with the bank, they're handling between 400 to 500 short sales in any given time. There's no way that they can go into that detail for every single file. Okay, they just want to get out of it. The investors just want to get out of it. They just want to get their money back and move forward. Once they get their money back, they invest in something else. That's how they try to recoup their money. Okay, so on our end, we need to protect our client also. Now, if you feel that some of the client is fishy, I suggest you not to take a case. For example, you know that they have money. You know that they can afford a property, but they just say, hey, but the property is upside down. I don't want it. You give your own judgment. See what is the right client for you to take them on. Okay. So that is a little bit difference between foreclosure and short sales. And also another question that come up: what about my credit? Okay, what about my credit? My take on this is that, okay, what is more important to you right now? Your credit or your finance?
Right.
Okay?
It's easy to get
They're
Exactly.
totally two different things, right? So if you worry about your finance right now, don't worry about your credit. So your credit will get tanked. Your credit will get tanked is not because of the fact of you doing the short sale. It's because of the fact that you do not pay your mortgage.
Right. Because in most instances, if people haven't paid their mortgage for 5, 6, 7 months,
already
their
there.
credit
It's
is
already there.
already shot.
Right, right. So
That makes sense.
absolutely. So it has nothing to do with the
So it
fact
can't
of
get
the
any
short
worse.
sale. Absolutely. So what I've seen is that after the short sale is done, and if the homeowner keep up with their payments and have their financial get in line, probably in about 2 years their credit will back to where they supposed to be. And according to today's guideline, I think you need 3 years after the short sale is done, then you can purchase a property
That's
again.
not bad.
Absolutely not bad. And as a matter of fact, we do have clients that done short sale back in 2006, 2007, even 2009, 8, 9, whatever, and now they're already back on the market and purchasing another property, which is fantastic because right now, 3 years later, the exact same property is still worth a lot less than the time that they foreclosed they short sell the property. So it's that will create another opportunity for you. You help somebody to short sell the property. You keep them in loop. 3 years later, they become your client again. They will buy property again from you. So that it creates a continuous business for you. And that's why you need to load up your pipeline. And once you load up the pipeline, it just never ends. It never ends. Okay. So that's something about the credit. Now, also you have clients saying that, hey, I don't want to ruin my credit. Can I do a short sale? I'm sure that you heard of A lot of questions like that. The answer is this. The answer is it depends on which lender. Okay, I can tell you some of the major lender like Bank of America, Chase, they don't like it. They would just state right out that, hey, you know, if you're paying for me, even though you have all kind of hardship, you write me a hardship letter. It doesn't matter what it is. But the matter of fact is that you're paying for my mortgage, so I don't see any hardship. So until you don't pay me, then we start talking about short sales. So it depends on lender. Some lender, like Wells Fargo, GMAC, Saxon, some smaller lenders, they are willing to consider case by case. Okay. As a matter of fact, we just done one with Wells Fargo. Homeowners still been paying the mortgage up to the time the short sale was settled. Okay. However, the situation is that they are moving to another state. Okay, if they move, there's no way, just like what I said, right? I mean, they already purchased this price, now they need to move, there's no way that they can sell the property at the market rate value. So they have to move to another state. There's no way that they can afford two properties and has to go through a short sale. We explain to the client, lenders and whatnot, and finally the lender agreed to it. But however, if you keep paying for your mortgage, the lender know that financially you are able to pay for the mortgage. So they will come up with a lot of hard, it has to go through a hard negotiation. So for this particular homeowner, what happened is that they have to come up with money, some sort of cash contribution to satisfy the lender. Then the lender allowed them to get away. So again, if the homeowner's paying for the mortgage, if the homeowner's paying for the mortgage, a few things would happen. We have to go through much harder negotiation. Expect cash contribution. Expect promissory note, okay? And expect a lot of other things that the lender might put onto the deal. But again, it will go through at the end. Okay, so it depends on the homeowners. Now, one thing that I also would like to suggest, that does not matter if they pay mortgage or they don't pay mortgage. Let's say they decided to do a short sale, and I would assume that they don't pay for their mortgage. Now, they will ask you, should I pay my mortgage or not, right? I suggest you not to tell your client, don't pay your mortgage. It's not your position and my position to tell the homeowner not to pay the mortgage, okay? You don't want them to come back and bite you saying that, oh, Gail told me not to pay my mortgage and that's why I'm supposed to. So what you need to do is that you need to let them know that, hey, tell them the fact, in order for the lender to consider a short sale, you have to show financial difficulty, financial hardships, okay? Now, you decide if you pay your mortgage or not. But if you do really have financial hardship, you cannot. If you keep paying for your mortgage, then the following two things will happen, right? We just talked about it. The lender would think that, hey, you don't have any financial hardship. They would reject the short sale, or they would give you a lot of hard time. So put the ball back to them, because they already know. If you know, they already know. They just want more confirmation from you. Hey, should I pay my mortgage or not? But again, don't do it. And if they have to get an answer, call me. Have them to call me. We have an in-house attorney. I would have the attorney to talk to them. Okay? So that is.
Can you repeat that? You said in order to show the lender that you were having financial difficulty, something else you said.
Right. If in order for you to show the lender that the number one thing the lender looked at is, are you paying my mortgage? Okay? That is the. If you keep paying for the lender's mortgage, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue that, hey, I have a financial hardship.
You have to show how.
Right. So the lender, you know, I mean, the bottom line is that.
Basically telling them don't pay it, but not really saying.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Just put it in so many
Absolutely.
words.
Absolutely. Okay. So and again, we do have an in-house attorney. If your client do need some kind of you know, legal help and things like that, we can definitely do that, and it's all free at the first consultation. You know, all free. And what else? So again, I mean, if the homeowner asks you such questions, just put the ball back to them, and they already know. They already, you know, otherwise they wouldn't come to you for a short sale. And now, if they don't pay the mortgage, this is what I would suggest. You know, let's say their mortgage is $1,000 a month. You say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, now you're not paying for your mortgage, okay? Save the $1,000 as much as you can. Let's say the short sale normally takes about 6 months to go through. Every single month you save $1,000, you save yourself $6,000, okay? Why do you need to save that $6,000? Just in case lender asks for any sort of cash contribution, especially the second lender. If you have 2 liens on it, most likely the first lien is going to get what they get, then they get out of it. But however, the second lien is not going to get what they want, most likely. They will ask for more money. So for example, let's say the second lien wants $5,000 to get out of it, right? And the first lien only offered them $3,000. Now there's a $2,000 gap. Mr. Homeowner, now you have the money saved up, then you have that extra, then you have this $2,000 to pay for that gap. So you want to, at the beginning, you want the homeowners to realize that, hey, I'm helping you to solve the problem, but you are part of it. You are the main guy in this deal, so you need to be responsible for some of the expenses as well. Okay, so don't come up to me saying that, hey, I don't have money, I don't want to pay anything, and then you try to get out of it. It doesn't work that way anymore. Okay, so
I have a question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
The training that Angela is taking, the training is in reference to what you're teaching us now?
Well, the training that she's
What is it
getting is a
called?
lot more, it's called CDPE, a lot more theory, okay, exactly. That is gonna teach you as an agent what to do if you want to negotiate your short sale, what kind of package you need to submit in, what kind of document you need, how do you talk to the lender, how do you deal with the lender, so et cetera, et cetera. So that is put all the things in you.
Oh,
So you are the one that deal with all these. But what I'm saying is that you don't need to. You use us. We do all these things for you. You still need to go through the class. I think it's a very good class. At least you understand, what you need to go through, what kind of document,
Oh, yes.
what.
Pretty expensive.
Right.
Okay, I was just
It's
wondering
not
what
cheap.
it was all about.
Right,
You
it's
know,
not you. I mean,
I
we
thought
have
it
we have all this information, so I mean, we will come in and I can show you pretty much what they say. I've
You
been,
have told us so much.
Yeah.
right,
I'm serious.
right. I mean, whatever they are teaching you out there is good
Yeah.
if you want to do it yourself.
Okay.
But what here is that it's a partnership. Okay,
Okay.
again, we've been doing these things since 2006, and we get tremendous amount of knowledge.
Sell it. Let me stay in my lane. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta
Absolutely.
know when to stay in your lane.
Absolutely.
And what, if I could just add, what I like
Please.
about, Alan's group doing it, is like Selena sends me updates every week to let me know where they are in the process.
Actually, we have a system allow you to log in 24/7. You don't even need us to send.
You sent me that, I just
Right.
never logged in.
Okay, you just don't log
I
in.
have a deal now
Uh-huh.
that I'm trying to get the ball rolling on with you all.
Right.
It's my client that is just dragging his feet with the paperwork. Now, I emailed him the paperwork. He needs to be a little.
Right. See,
Yeah.
that is why it's your jobs to let the client know the urgency.
Yeah.
Because
Just text him.
foreclosure is so much different.
Yeah.
Once the lenders start the foreclosure process, then we have less time to deal with the short sale.
This is another question that I had. When you're doing a short sale, is it relevant for you to submit some type of offer on the property, whether it's a serious offer or non-serious offer, just to stop the foreclosure process?
So this is what we do. Okay, let's say you have a listing and you don't have a contract. We always put in a serious offer.
Okay.
Okay, we always, because we deal with a lot of investors, home buyers, and things like that. So you don't have a home buyer, no problem. Give me I have the address. I will send out to all my contacts, and I can bet you within 2 days I can get an offer for you. That offer might not be what the lender will approve, but it's a serious offer from one of our buyers. So for example, let's say this property worth about $100,000. Okay, the investor want to buy it at 60%, 60 cents on the dollar. So they put in a $60,000 offer. Now, nothing wrong with $60,000. Okay, a lot of people think, well, how you're tricking the bank. No, we're in negotiation. We're talking to the bank right now. I mean, the bankers have no idea what this property really worth. Somebody wants to buy this thing at $60,000. The lender still need to approve it. Okay, if they don't approve it, that's fine. Then at least we know what they want. You're
They're
following?
gonna counter offer.
They always counter. Okay, however, you're surprised. You'll be surprised. A lot of the time, the lender will just try to get rid of the property. Once we put it in a contract, they say, okay, 60, fine, I take 60. It happens all day long.
The reason why I asked that, because I experienced this situation at a real estate office I used to work at.
Mm-hmm.
My broker, he wrote an offer. He didn't really want the property, but he just wrote the offer.
Okay.
I guess just to see what the bank wanted, but
Right.
I still had to try to recruit
Right.
business.
I mean, normally we don't do that. I mean, we always find investors that wants the property.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so if the lender approved at that price, you got a deal. This property
Can I
goes
give
to-
my example? Because I listed a short sale, once again, Alan's negotiating it, but we listed the property at $94,500. An investor came in at $75,000.
Mhm.
Right.
The bank counter offered at 98,
Right.
which was really more than I had listed it for.
Right.
The investor said, no, I don't want to go any higher than 75, but when I put it back on the market,
Right.
I put it back at 98 because now I knew that's
Exactly.
what the
Because
bank
they not
wanted.
really tell you.
And
what-
now I have a contract on it, a full offer for 98.
There you go.
Okay.
See, that is why do we do that? Is because once we have an investor to put in an offer, okay. So now the property is under contract. Now we have time because the investor or the buyer they have all the time to wait. So now we negotiate with the lender, negotiate with the lender, negotiate with the lender. Probably 3 months down the road, finally, now we know the lender 198, but the investor does not 198, so the investor's out. Now we listed at 98. All of a sudden, when the contract comes in, now this new buyer doesn't have to wait for all this time,
Right.
right? So now we shorten the time so that we can boom go to closing within a reasonable time. Because, and another main reason that short sale does not close is because the buyer comes in and takes, even though the buyer comes in at 98, the lender still take that long a time to realize this property worth 98. They have to do their own due diligence, BPO, and all kind of stuff. A lot of the homeowners cannot wait for that long, so you wasted that potential buyer. You see what I'm saying?
So, because I noticed in the list of things that Selena wanted me to pull together, she said, talk to Johnny to see if he can give me an offer on the
Okay.
property. So in the event that
Right.
he can't do it.
If Johnny cannot do it, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, because normally the way that we do is that we respect the broker first, because we don't just work with one broker. We work with so many different brokers. So normally what we do is that, hey, we go back to the broker saying, hey, do you guys have any offer? If you don't, can we put in an offer? Okay, so from this point on, if Johnny doesn't have it, just give me a call, and I have one of my investors to put in an offer, and we go from that point on. Okay, so that is, and again, there will be a period of time, long period of time that you don't hear anything from us. It's just because,
Right.
not from
Right.
us, from the lender, they still have to do what they think. And we have our own system that allow you to log in, just like say, feel free to log into it, even though you have 1 deal, 2 deals, 5 deals, whatever that might be. And as long as the deal's under your name, once you log in, you'll see all 5 deals. You know exactly what happened with every single deal, what is missing, where we are, when was the last time we talked to the lender, and et cetera, et cetera. So if you still want to talk to us, feel free to call me, okay? In our office, again, I'm the main guy that oversees everything. Sometimes I do a little bit of negotiation, but my main function in the company is to oversee all the transactions. So in the office, you have Selena, that you guys heard her name. She is actually used to be a contract manager in Hong Kong. She knows how to tackle. She knows how to negotiate. She knows how to make things happen. So she's very aggressive. So don't mind her if she gives you a little attitude. I shouldn't say attitude, but if she's a little bit rough on you guys, just because
Just a culture difference.
just a culture difference. She just needs things
I had
Right.
to
right
learn
now.
that at school.
Make things happen. Okay. So her style is that give me the stuff, I give you the deadline, give me the stuff, and because she has deadline to meet also, because the lender putting a lot of pressure on her. Okay. So that is Selena, and also you have Lisa. Lisa is a little bit milder, okay, but she is, she's relentless. She's just like water. It's
Where's she from?
She's from Hong Kong also.
Okay, because the reason why I'm saying that, because I had a professor from Hong Kong, and
Okay.
she was very thorough.
Yep.
And we used to clash a lot, but as time went on,
Yep.
I just had to learn it was a culture difference.
Right.
That's it,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But
So she's like water.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, nothing will hit her, but she will just keep pounding on that, and then one day the rock is going to collapse. And then we also have Sue. Sue is she's from Korea. Okay. And she used to be a loan processor. Both Lisa and Sue used to be mortgage processors, so they know the lender, how to work the lender, how to read the HUD, and also so it's very, very thorough. And then we also have Jeremy. Jeremy is our project manager, mainly, let's say, their property that need to be, let's say we buy the property, okay, we put in an offer, then Jeremy will be the one that going out there to look at the property, take pictures, but for property that we do not put in an offer, then we don't have to use it, okay. So we have a few people inside of, and also we have Chris Markham. He's our in-house attorney. So all the legal stuff that we cannot handle, then we go to him and he will review all the documents and review all the approval letter, make sure everything's right, then we go out.
You
Okay.
said his name is Chris Malcolm?
Chris Markham, M-A-R-K-H-A-M. Chris Markham. Okay. You don't hear from him a lot just because, every time you talk to him, he's going to charge me.
Yeah.
So what I do is that, if you have any legal like foreclosure, I'm not a lawyer, okay, but I know enough what's going on. So if you have any legal issue, whatever, just ask me first, and if I can answer you, I'll give you the answer. If I cannot, then I will refer you to Chris. But again, I mean, all the conversation that you will with Chris pretty much is all free, we cover it. But however, if you do need extra service from Chris, let's say for example, if you need him to, or your client need him to go to the court, to do all kind of stuff, then it's between you, the client, and Chris, not of us. Okay, Chris is going to charge the client. All right. So that is our team. That's our team, in-house team right here. So again,
You said the lawyer.
right, the lawyer's name is Chris, Mr. Chris Monk. Okay, right. So pretty much that's the nutshell of what we do. I don't want you guys to get into detail how to negotiate and all kind of stuff. I mean, the way I see it is that hey, it's our job, okay? And plus, again, in the state of Maryland, you can verify it with JB. If you have a real estate license, the real estate board do not want you to wear two hats: a negotiator and a real estate agent. And that actually, I used to have real estate license, and I gave up my real estate license so that I can mainly do this. So I don't have to fit into the regulations and whatnot. And
I tried to show sale before I got here. It was a lot trying to negotiate, and it was a total headache.
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
rather not deal with that.
But we love it. Once you got the system down, once you got a system down, it's just like,
See, that's the thing.
expertise,
Absolutely.
right, yeah, then you get
Yeah.
used to, but I know I wouldn't wanna do it. I don't have the patience.
not necessarily just the patient, it has a lot to do with
someone,
psychology also.
Selena,
Selena
Lisa, Jeremy, and I think
and Sue.
And Sue,
Right.
okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but
So-
I just don't have the tolerance for it, I know I don't.
Right. One thing is, again, it's not about, of course, it's very time consuming for you to talk to the lender. And let's say you only have like 1 or 2 short sales, it spends so much time just on the phone. It start you doing other things that you're supposed to, like getting more listings, getting more buyers, and showing houses and things like this, right? And then the second thing I see out there with a lot of agents is that they, even though they do it, but they're psychologically they're not prepared for it. Again, we're talking about negotiation. You're talking about negotiation. The lender, all those negotiators on the other side of the phone line, they have been trained. They know what kind of questions to ask you to pull information from you. Okay. So, for example, they will ask you, hey, is the homeowner having any jobs? Are they still working? I mean, things like this will let them know that, hey, this homeowner will have money. I might give cash contribution. I might consider promissory note. Things like this, right? And if you're not trained and if you give out all this information, then it might not be necessarily a good thing for your homeowner, right?
Now, when the difference is forgiven, the bank has to put that in writing, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, Baba was explaining to me that if you try to negotiate a deal, I'm not sure, now correct me if I'm wrong, and your client winds up owing the bank when everything is all said and done, you can actually get sued for that, for not negotiating a deal, right?
Yes, you have a lot of applications
know
for it.
that.
Yep, you have a lot of applications. I mean, the lender, suing or not, I mean, again, the reality is that everybody can sue everybody, right? So, what is the success rate for them to get you? Then it all depends on how the judge will see it. I mean, obviously
Right.
they're an adult, they sign the paperwork, and I mean that. But the reality is that the way I see it is that we make sure the homeowner understand what they're signing. Okay, and that's why the first thing that we negotiate is to have the lenders agree for the deficiency balance. They don't come out, and it's actually written on that approval letter, and that's why it goes through a few series of filter. Once the approval comes out, Selena or Sue or Lisa, whoever, they will read the approval letter first. And they want to make sure there are languages in the approval letter stating that, hey, this thing is forgiven.
So isn't it something about the lien and the debt?
Yes.
That has to be forgiven, not
Yes.
just one. or
Yes,
the other.
absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know is that
And the debt.
on the approval letter, sometimes the lender will say that, hey, we will agree to release the lien. Doesn't matter. You release the lien, you can release the lien all day long,
Right.
right?
Right.
But if you don't release the debt, then which means that the homeowner will still carry the remaining balance, okay? All these little things that you need to know,
So it's like, what's the purpose?
all
Maybe
these
not
things you
do
need to
that.
know. I mean, they are very tricky. They are very tricky to put in things. So what we do in our shop is that once the approval comes out, Selena will read through it, and if she already see that, hey, that's forgiven, specifically spelled out on the approval letter, then she will tell me. And from that point on, whether or not, I will also read through it one more time. I want to make sure that, yes, this is forgiven. And pretty much, if it is forgiven, at that point, I feel comfortable and I send out the approval letter to you guys. Now, if anything that I'm not sure, okay, sometimes they were saying that, hey, the lien is forgiven, and we do not ask for any promissory note, but there's nowhere
It's not saying
in
debt
the,
is
it didn't say that the debt is forgiven, but yet on the other hand, they're saying that there's no promissory note. If something that I'm not sure, I send it to Chris. And Chris read this thing and saying, no, this is no good, then we'll go back to the lender saying, hey, I don't like this, let's revise this. Sometimes, let's say for example, like Saxon, their approval letter is pretty lame. You don't know what they're talking about, but it just, the way that they're written is by the system. So in that case, normally what we do is that we ask the negotiator, is this loan, is this case completely forgiven? Send me an email. On your approval letter, you didn't say it, but sometimes they will say, yeah, it's forgiven. Okay, send me an email.
Something right.
Send me something in writing. Sometimes they will say, oh yeah, the lender will give out 1099-C. Great, 1099-C means that this is forgiven. Okay. Sometimes they will say, yeah, this is completely forgiven. That the lender will not come after it, for whatever reason. So as long as we have things like this, we put into our file, then we're all good to go. And if we do go to court or whatever, then we can pull this thing out, show it to the judge. Hey, this is what we negotiate. That's what they agreed to it. You know?
1099-C means the debt is forgiven.
C means that cancellation of debt.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now you have two type of 1099.
Mm-hmm.
When you foreclose the property, the lender will give you a 1099-A. It means that abandonment of property. You abandon the property, which means that you still carry the remaining balance. But when you do a short sale, they give you a 1099-C. A C means that cancellation of debt. Okay? Cool? So again, the point is that, you know, I don't want to bore you guys with all the strategy. We have so many different ways to negotiate with the lender. Again, we don't want to bore you with what we do behind the scene, but the things that we will get things done for you. But however, we work as a team. You know the property better than we do. Again, we have over hundreds of properties in our pipeline right now. We do have property all the way in California, Florida. We do a lot of business down Florida. There's no way that we can see the property. So in that case, we rely heavily on you. When you submit the case, let us know the condition of the property. Yeah, ideally, if you can give me some pictures, that'd be great. And also, please don't send us anything that we don't ask for. Okay, all we ask for is a few things.
Yeah.
The homeowner's bank statement, 2 months, bank statements, all pages, 2 years of tax return, hardship letter.
Selena was very specific. Where
Exactly. I mean, you say your hardship letter, okay, and then and pay stubs, 2 pay stubs. That is all we need from the homeowner. Don't send them their medical bill, these, and none of those. We don't need those. We don't need none of those. Okay, those are only the 4 things because we deal with so many paperwork, and those are the 4 things. And then from you as an agent, I need listing agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a contract, put in a contract. If you don't have a contract, let me know. I put in a contract for you. Those are the 6 things that we need. And plus our short sale package that you guys have. If you don't have it, send me an email. I send it to you also. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the lender have their own short sale package too. Give me that. So if you have 2 different packages, have them to fill out 2 different packages and send it back to me. Okay, so those are all we need. And do me a favor, when you send it to me in one package, PDF format. Don't send it in JPEG. Man, we have an agent from you know, it's one of the Calvary agent. Man, 50 pages, each page is a JPEG. No, we can't do that. You know, scan everything into a PDF format, send it to us. And that's all we're asking for. And once we got that, normally within 24 to 48 hours, your file will be in our system. You should receive an email from our system saying that, hey, this is your login ID. You know, this is, we already put in everything. You will see this.
Is it okay to set, like for instance, a short sale package that's one file?
Absolutely. As long as you send it to me in one package.
Big.
Right.
Okay.
As long as you send it in, in one email or 2
Okay.
emails.
Right.
Okay, you can. You know, don't send me one thing today and send me something tomorrow.
Right. Send it all at once.
Right. You can say that, hey, Main Street, part 1, Main Street,
Okay.
part 2,
Okay.
Main Street, part 3. Okay, we know exactly what it is, and then we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, that helps us out a lot.
Okay.
All right. So, and again, I just want you guys to focus on what you need to do. Just get more short sale listings. They're out there. You know, you close your eyes, you let them know what you can do. They will just keep coming, keep coming, and keep coming, and keep coming.
I guess you tend to shy away from them when you're not educated about them.
Absolutely, and that is why we're here for, to let you know that, give you the confidence. Don't afraid of short sale. You're not the one negotiating short sale. You're just listing the property, just like selling any just like selling any real estate. And that extra part, we deal with it for you. It's just like, imagine you don't do the closing. You have the title company to do the closing. You don't do the mortgage. You have the mortgage company to do the mortgage. Now with the short sale, you don't need the negotiation. You need us to do the negotiation. That's it. Okay. So once you fill the pipeline, honestly, if you can get 20 short sale filled up, you make over $100,000. I see that.
Sounds good.
I see that. It's happening.
Sounds real.
It's happening. Okay. So now let me open up the floor. Any questions? Any questions?
I broke questions down, but you started answering them throughout the conversation. So.
Am I that good?
Yes, you are.
And again, this is being videoed or whatnot, so we'll be online. And we make sure we provide everybody a link so you can reference back to this again and again.
Right.
And on the same token and whatnot, when you go out to a listing agreement and whatnot, and of course if we all mobile whatnot, then you can actually show your agents, your client, exactly what we're doing.
Can we look at
Because
it
answers
through
a
the
lot of
app?
questions.
Because I downloaded the app, so that,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I don't know if we got the link
Okay.
on the app yet,
Well, you just have to go to
but
the.
that's probably something we'd be able to put in there, having a YouTube link on our app.
And one thing that we also provide to help you out to get a listing is that, let's say you identify this client as a serious short sale candidate, and she's already, or here, the client's already ready to move forward, but they want to know more about the detail. So what you can do at that point is to do a 3-way conference call with me. And I'll be on the phone, and I will explain to your homeowner. Did I do that to you?
And you did
I
that to
did that to
me,
you,
right?
okay,
And
right.
when you were finished,
Right.
she came away
Yep.
completely satisfied.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because that will put,
I'm not even the client.
yeah, that will put ease on the client. Because a lot of time they've never been through a short sale. They're so, so angsty about what's going on. They receive all these court letters, and what we do right here is to provide a comfort. Don't worry about it. We'll walk you through step by step, and by the time you're done, you look back and it's just a joke.
And I mean,
That would help us learn more too.
Yes.
and see, at the end of the day, again, you got to emphasize the word we, team.
Right.
When you go on a short sale, you don't stand alone. So if you're on the phone with them, and like you said, or you on the phone at them or whatever, say, you know what, let me get my partner on the partner. Let me get my partner firm on the team or whatever, and he help break this down for you, because I don't want you to get lost,
Right.
I don't have a negotiation part. I can tell you how I can market your house, I can tell you how I'm gonna list your house, I can tell you what you need to do to clean this house up, I can tell you all the stuff that I, in my lane, can tell you how to do, as far as a real estate agent. But I got a partner that has a negotiation part.
Or you can even let them know that, you can tell them that you have an in-house negotiator, which we are. I mean, we're part of next to your in-house negotiating team, and the manager from the negotiation department is going to contact you.
Correct.
However you want to say it, it's all fine. Just remember that we are working together. Okay. And if they have questioned why you're not negotiating, just let them know, hey, I'm not, just like I don't close the deal for you. I'm not a title agent. I don't do the loan for you. I'm not a loan officer. And I'm not a negotiator. I'd rather have my in-house negotiation team to do the job, because that's what they specialize in. And my specialty is to help you to sell the property. I'm a listing agent, and I will fully help you out on this one. So,
Did you cover like the fees?
The fees, okay, normally we negotiate our fee with the lender, okay?
Yeah, he went over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Now,
it's coming out of their pocket.
Right,
you know, out of your
Right.
pocket.
Client do not pay us a penny.
Right,
Client do not pay us a penny, just like the client do not pay you guys, okay?
right.
Now, and again, if the client need specific legal advice from the attorney, then it's between the client and the attorney, not with you, not with us. There's a separate, totally different agreement, okay?
Where you all located?
Well, actually, we're located in Rockville. As a matter of fact, we are actually looking for a new office right now,
Okay.
just to, expand our office.
We're gonna try to talk to them in our new office, we'll probably try to have them in-house.
Oh,
Oh,
you
So we were looking at,
Where?
kind of in-house.
Where?
The one on Market Vista, the one I was talking to you about
Okay.
a little bit later on.
Well, let me-
We're trying to get them closer to this neck of the woods, whatnot, so we have somebody now.
Yep.
That'll work.
We gotta do an office space
I'm
in-house.
glad I didn't miss this.
I know, really good.
Well, you have 17 other agents. You have 17 agents, you only like 4 showed up, so the other 13, they need to know about it too. So I can come back anytime. Again, I'm part of the next stage, and probably next time when you put me in a schedule, I need to talk a little bit more specific, what you need to do, how do you need to get more listings. But again, I mean, that is your forte, you know,
Yeah.
getting listings, it should be.
Yes.
And again, if you understand how it works, it shouldn't be that difficult.
So again, and like all other sections,
Trying to get
give us
your sale
feedback.
around.
Right.
Give us feedback, so next time, how can we enhance this a little bit better?
Mhm.
I mean, stuff, I mean, right now, I'm pretty sure it's information overload in some sense. I mean, you're enlightened, but at the same time, it could be a little bit overwhelming as well. So you sit there and start digesting this before you start going to your clients again, jot down little notes.
Right.
Send me a little email or Alan a little email or whatever, so again, when we come out, we're gonna, you know, make it to the next level. For the people that didn't make it there, whatnot, of course, I'm gonna reference them to go to the video library.
Right.
So next time we come out, we're going to another advanced stage or whatnot. We don't need to keep going back on this and whatnot. If we miss it, it's your fault. It's your fault. But for the ones that's already here, what the benefits is, and you give us a little feedback, some
Right.
understanding, then the next time you come out or whatever, then we take it to another level.
And that actually helped us too, because we have been doing this thing for like so many years. And a lot of this information that I just shared with you, it's like in my brain, it's just like cranking out every single day. That's what we do. It to us, it's nothing, but probably to some people it will be, wow, fascinating. Wow, I didn't know about this information. So if you can send me a list about, hey, what would I like to know, what would you like to know, then I can actually put up another presentation and to share with you specifically on the questions that you have. And that's why I want to open up the floor like this and have you to ask questions that I think that would be better, because I mean, we have so much information. I can talk about this thing all day long, but they might not necessarily help you, right?
Well, you know, the information about the various types of 1099s
Right.
was very beneficial to me,
Right.
because I thought a 1099 meant that, that the seller would have to claim that as income
Oh,
on their, or their tax form the
Yes.
following year.
yes.
So it's like the 1099-C and A, which you just
Okay.
went over.
Let me, a very good point. Let me explain that to you.
Mm-hmm.
When they get a 1099, yes, they need to claim that as tax.
Oh, okay,
They do.
they do.
Now, however, it all depends on how they claim that property that they just short sell.
Mhm.
If that property is their primary residence, there is a law out there called the Mortgage Forgiveness Act of 2007, signed by George W. Bush. So basically, in that law, saying that, hey, if your property foreclosed or short sale, and you got a 1099, then you don't have to pay taxes on it. So they just need to go to their CPA
Oh, okay.
and let them know that, hey, this property, it's a primary residence, then that's the end of it. I mean, whatever they need to do, that's the CPA's job.
Okay.
And again, I'm not a CPA.
If it's not a primary residence.
Right. Now, if it is not a primary residence, what they need to do, again, talk to the CPA, as long as they can prove that they're insolvent, okay? Then also they don't need to pay taxes on it. Now, there's a form out there called IRS Form 928. Either 928 or 982. Okay, you can do a Google search on it. So they need to fill out that
You
form,
said 928?
either 928 or 982.
Mhm.
Okay, it's an IRS form. You can do a search and you can find it very easily. So they need to find a good CPA that knows what's going on, and as long as they prove that they're insolvent, then they don't need to pay taxes on it either. So out of all these 200 some sort of stuff that we have done, nobody ever called us back saying that, hey, how come I need to pay taxes? So, you know, and again, I'm not a CPA.
Mhm.
So they need to, that's why you need to educate your client and have them to work with a CPA. But in general, I mean, I would say 90% of the time, they wouldn't even worry about paying any taxes. Okay? Anything else?
Good info.
Very good info.
Good info, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So the next step for you guys to do is to load up that pipeline.
Get listings.
Okay?
That's
Get
right.
listings.
Mhm.
Because I had an agent in Keller Williams office, very good friend of Leo.
Okay,
His name's Rob Chavez.
okay.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
He's a very good friend of mine. Very, very good agents in Keller Williams. Okay. For the longest time, I tried to let him know that, hey, you need to do short sale. You need to do so. When I started out in 2006, when I started with short sale, and I really started talking to him. This is the trend, this is the trend. But he was doing so well with his normal real estate transaction, whatever. He just doesn't really care. But finally, he submitted a few short sale. I closed every short sale for him. I closed every short sale for him. He referred a few agents to us. We closed short sale for the agents. And all of a sudden we realized that, wow, there's so much money in short sale. So he started doing marketing, things like that. And now he become our #1 agent in my office. He has, in any given time, he has over 15 short sales with us.
Wow.
In any given time. I just closed one, the one that I just talked to you about, the Wells Fargo, the client that still keep paying for the mortgage. I closed that one for him. I made him $15,000 commission. 15,000. He didn't do none. He just gave me the listing. I did all the negotiation. I can show you the HUD if you want to see it.
I like that.
I can refer you to him. You can talk to him all day long. And I have another one closing for him probably this. I know it's this month. Muffet Street. Okay, that one I'm going to net him about $12,000. Just 2 deals. He's already making over $30,000.
Wow.
Okay, and JB, I got one for him this month. This week. Angela Williams, I get one. I think Angela, I'm closing that one on Thursday. That one I'm thinking I'm netting her, I don't know, about 10 grand. It's a $400,000 home,
Right.
right? So, come on, girls.
Pay up, John.
Yes.
Pay up.
I'm paying up, I'm bringing up to the resources.
Yes.
You
I'm
know,
doing my job, y'all, this is money, this is money right here.
there's so much money in that it's not even kidding. So you load up your pipeline, that's why I tell you, if you have 20 short sales in any
It's
given
hard to
time,
feel like that when you don't know.
you don't, right, but now you know.
But now we
Now you know, now you feel more confidence.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Just fill up the pipeline and you know, and many times, let's say if we do purchase the property, then you become our agents also. Now you can double dip. Just like Melissa from Brett's office. What is this company? What property? But anyway, that's another
Express home buyer.
Express Home Buyer. You guys heard of it? So anyhow, you know, I do a lot of short sale for his office. Rob is #1, and Melissa, Express Home Buyer, they're #2. They, any given time, they have between 12 to 15 short sales with us. You know, we close so many for them. And also, we buy a lot of property from agents also. So let's say you listed the property, and our investor put in an offer, and if they accept it, then you become the agent of that property also. So now you double dip on the commissions. We make commissions on both ends. So, you know.
And see, that's
You
another
need to
good thing.
relist the house that you all bought, is that what you're saying?
No, let's say you listed the property. You're the listing agent, right? And now you don't have a contract. You give it to me, and I put in an offer.
Okay.
And if the lender accept that offer, then you will be my agent.
Oh, wow.
So you get to put it back on the market.
That's all.
Right. So you don't have to put it down on the market.
Yeah, and that's the same thing
Win-win
in-house, that's
situation.
the same thing in-house here. Cause most, between Alan and other investors we have dealing whatnot, Sid and whatnot, we gonna put an offer on, if you bring a short sale listing here, it's 9 times out of 10, we gonna have a contract to be put in.
Right.
When you get, that's why I said, when y'all get a short sale, listen, give me a call, give us understanding whatnot, and then we can see where the house is located, whatever, and then we'll know whom we need to send it to and try to get a contract. So when your paper signing the paperwork, your listing agreement, putting all that docs, everything at one time, we can also submit the buyer's contract as well.
Right.
So we have them signed. So always when you do when you do your listing agreement, go out with the buyer's contract. Have your agents automatically go ahead and start signing everything at one time. So you got to worry about them anymore. Because once you bring in the house, we'll put an offer in. We'll put an offer in. So that'll solidify your deal right there. You done. You done.
She did put that on the list of things that
Yeah.
we talked to you about putting the offer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my client now because
Yeah.
he gotta get this paperwork
Get
back.
that
If he
done,
wanna get this
exactly.
house, you know, prevent foreclosure.
direct number.
Yeah. So let's get all at one time.
Deficiency
Let's get all at
judgment,
one
you
time.
better do something.
So, I'm just kind of going back to that express home buyer thing. Is that the same commercial you
Yeah,
hear?
that's brand.
I mean,
Buy your house in 7
in
days.
7 days, yeah.
That's great. I
So
mean,
so this person gets the house from the buyer, from the seller, and then short sales it. So she has the house, but now she's doing a short sale.
But see,
So,
a lot of stuff
okay.
from Brandon, because of all the advertising they got, everybody's calling on about it. So a lot of her leads are coming from his advertising.
The
So we
advertising,
can buy it.
okay.
So everything, they can't buy everything. They can't buy
Uh-huh.
everything for what the people want off of it. So what they do is they put in a short sale system, now they can buy it.
Okay.
So the same thing, how they're doing it, we can do the same thing here.
Mhm,
And that's what we're telling you. So we can put our
Okay.
contract on any offer, any house you bring in.
Right.
That's another thing by keeping it in-house.
Mhm.
And the benefit of you guys, again, you're already on the listing side, then you get to put it back on the listing once it's all fixed up,
Right.
rehab, whatever, then you get to put it back on the market.
Okay.
And that's not including all the incentives, because you're bringing in the house and whatnot,
Right.
the different incentives we got on top of that. Because now you don't bought in one You bought in listing stuff that you ain't gotta deal with, you put on the market, whatever, turn to Alan and him do the negotiation, like I said,
Right.
your next step then is to hold your buyer's hand every once in a while, the buyer's agent come in and say, what's going on? Okay, you send a little email over to Alan, hey, what's going on, they'll send an email back to you and the person, because I talk to Selena sometimes, once I turn over to Alan, whatever, I turn the buyer's agent over to Alan as well, for two parts. One, I don't want to be going back and forth. Once I turn to Alan, let them handle it. But two, it gives this buyer's agent respect that we got a negotiation that if they got short sales now they can turn themselves over to Alan too, because they can see how Alan will work as well. And so that'll put more people in their pipeline as well.
Right.
So it's doing them a favor, but it's doing me a favor too, because I don't really want to talk back and forth.
Right.
Once I do, when they call me and say, meet the BPO agent, talk to the BPO agent, my next phone call from them, or it's time for another update, a new updated list, a new addendum, or something they might contact me or whatnot, or the next contact, hey, we get ready to go to closing.
Right.
Who's doing the closing for you, whatnot. That's the only communication I have. So after my hour-long meet with them, having them sign paperwork or whatnot,
Then you
I'm
just sit
really
back,
done.
relax, and
Right.
enjoy your flight.
Right,
I might put
exactly.
in 10 or 15 more minutes, 10 or 15 more minutes after all the initial paperwork is done. That's all I got until I sit to the closing table and pick up your check. So you can't beat that. So not only you do that, so you do your list, you do your listing, you turn on, we put the contract on and whatnot. So now you're getting paid off the listing side. Then you come on the other end and whatnot. Once the house, because it's turned in-house to a contractor work for the most part, investor, whatever, you get paid off for finding another contract for the house. On top of that, you get paid for the contractor doing the work, meaning instead of them doing the work in here,
Right,
you get money off that or whatever. Then if you do 200, you get your iPad at the end of the month or whatnot. Then you turn around, the house is fixed up. You put it back on the market, advertise for a listing or whatever. And then of course, we try to bring the buyers on the other side in-house as well. So you can offer one transaction, you can
Right.
talk 4 or 5 times, you can hit this legally, legally.
Absolutely. So
That's why it's imperative that you guys look at this short sale, and that's the market that's not going away. You know, the short sale and the rentals with the option to buy is what's here in your face right now for about the next 4 or 5 years. So you gotta take full advantage of it, full advantage of it.
So the bottom line is that, the main thing, go out there and to get the listings.
That's right.
If there's no listings, this all this knowledge is just, knowledge.
Yeah.
You need to turn the knowledge into money. So, okay.
And we'll get together eventually, Al and I, maybe during our next section or whatnot, maybe we'll come down on how to advertise, how to start, because like I said, I'm on the Cravens thing, that's free. What type of headlines we need to go and start jumping out to grab people, to make people come in, advertising wise and whatnot.
Right.
We need to get together and put our heads together on that. Now that you guys got a better understanding and feel a little bit more
Right,
comfortable
right.
on your approach, now we got to bring people to approach. So we need to, again, put a session together that we can sit there and brainstorm how we're gonna also, because it's enough for everybody. So we all do some mass communication together, mass advertising together and whatnot, and we can do this. We can do this and get this out there, get your pipeline full. Because we want to beat our express on by.
Seriously, it's not that difficult. Once you get involved, having 10, 15 in your pipeline is not that difficult. It's just now you understand it, you have more confidence, you know what's going on. They are out there.
And we're able to, just talk better about it,
Absolutely.
just to give like a brief overview
Right.
of, this is the process, but,
Right.
I want to put you in touch with our expert.
Absolutely. With your team. With your team. Absolutely.
That's the ticket. That's the best, that's the beauty of being an agent.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's the beauty.
Yeah, so I think the goal is that, hey, 15 it's a big number, right? So if we can, each one of us put in 2 listings a month, or even 1 listing a month,
Right.
That's better
that is
than
12.
zero.
That is 12 a
Exactly.
month. That's 12 listing a year. So by the time next year this time you make $100,000.
Yeah.
It almost makes you want to knock on people's doors and
Yeah.
say, hey, do you want to do a short sale?
It's out there, it's out there.
How do you advertise though, for the short sales?
Stress on buyers.
Uh-huh.
The stress on buyers, talk, let's do some free consultation on, what's your options. A lot of people know the options, then a lot of people know about the short sale, and there's a negative connotation that goes along with short sale.
Right.
So people don't want to call or want to get in communication with it because they don't understand. At first, like you said about the tax forgiveness and whatnot, that's a big issue that people don't understand. But all the questions, 2 things that the most time when we start talking to people about short sale, they come up. 1, do I got to pay you up front? Is there a fee associated with it? That's one of the main concerns that people don't want to talk to you about. Number 2, whatnot, what's my tax consequences or whatnot? Another thing come up, a lot of time come up, whatever. I'm in the house right now, I have no place to go. You can do a short sale when you're in the house. You just gotta make it
They can
presentable
stay-
when we
they can
get
stay there
ready
as
to
long
put
as
people
they-
in there. you know, but when the house is sold, of course, you gotta be moving up, but that, we'll keep that, you know, we'll work with you and we help you get you out of there, whatever, you know. You might wanna entertain rent with the option Bible, work on your short sale. You know, your credit's not jacked up as much right now, maybe we can look at trying to get you into the house. There's other different things to work with, so now you got a client for life.
Right.
Could you help them under the stress moment? You alleviate them by giving them the expert to talk to them about what implications they have, whatnot, opposed to dealing with foreclosure, whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing, you know, let them know that, hey, don't walk away from your house.
Yeah.
Talk to us
Yeah.
first. You know, and let them know the consequences of what foreclosure is. Now, you didn't know yourself, right? Now you know.
Right.
Let them know too. And if they know, wow, this is what I need to go through, I better think twice. You know?
So it's you know, it's all about having the resource of the agent. It's knowing where and whom to call to help you out. You don't have to know everything. You just got to know where to go get everything.
Well, let me give you a few tips, okay? A few tips. One, obviously, homeowners. Tell you already of a homeowner that going through short sale, and I bet you that homeowners know someone like that too. Okay? They ask them, do you know anybody that around your circle that need to go through the same situation, going through the same situation like you? Distressed homeowners. Okay, we can help them out. Referrals, warm market. Second thing, I suggest you to talk to loan officers. Get some good loan officers under your belt, because why? When somebody start to feeling that they cannot afford a mortgage, the first people that they go to are loan officers. See if they can refinance out themselves to a better loan. Okay, a lot of times just because the values down, not enough income, loan officers cannot do anything about it. But it could be a good candidate for doing short sales.
And keep in mind, oftentimes when you say real estate agent, they think we're loan officers.
Right.
So that's another reason you team up with your loan officer. Because they think a real estate agent is a loan officer. They don't know it's two separate people
Right.
altogether, whatnot.
Right. So another one is CPAs. You know, I mean, if you have any good CPAs, they know which client is having problems with, you know, with their finance whatsoever. You know, you don't have to ask them for personal information. You know, just let them know, hey, do you have any leads? This is what I do. If you have any clients that are in that situation, have them to call me. Right. So that's another good ways to get you to get some leads, and obviously through your community, your church, your kids' school, your parents' community, or whatever, right? Let them know that this is what you can do to help them out. Okay.
And if you get in with a good bankruptcy lawyer.
Bankruptcy lawyer, absolutely, absolutely.
Do you hear them advertise on TV or whatnot? You know, then you help your clients out.
Right. And another thing that I suggest you to do a search on MRS. Specifically do a short sale and expired short sale listings. Meaning what? A lot of time this agent who listed the short sale had no idea what they're doing, they got that expired. See if you can contact that homeowner. Okay, there are many ways for you to find out the homeowner. Probably send them an email, send them a letter. If it's around your community, probably just like Gail said, knock on the door and let them know that, hey, I'm an agent. Realize that your thing is expired. You just need to do it, right?
And see, a beauty on that end, if you are to go and knock on the door or whatnot, one thing you can offer them that most agents can't do, saying, you know what, we can guarantee we're gonna have an offer on your house in a week.
Right, exactly.
That's a different thing,
Right.
because especially when something has expired, they say, man, this man had my house for 2 or 3 years, whatever, ain't nothing happened, no transaction, no whatever. I can guarantee you if you want it, I can guarantee you, I have an offer in your house in a week.
Right,
In a week. Short sale, if you list it with me or whatever, I will have your contract in a week.
right.
Period. They're gonna, what, really? Yes. In fact, let's get the paperwork done or whatever, we can move this in a week. That should be a little catch if you want to start dealing with people in the short sale. Just show them how sharp you are.
Right.
And let's have a make up a meeting and let's get with the details. I can show you details, a lot of paperwork, and you know, it's time consuming right now. I know you already had your house in the market for a while. I know it's getting close to some type of date or whatnot.
Right.
So we need to probably get you into the system and whatnot. We don't know when they're gonna say slam the door, it's gonna be foreclosed or whatnot. So time is of the essence or whatever. But I can, you know, we can put a stop to the foreclosure if you move quickly.
Okay. So yeah, feel free to call me. You guys got my number, so feel free to call me. If I don't pick up, just leave me a message, and I'll definitely get back to you. Text is good, email is good, and as a matter of fact, I do travel quite a bit these days. And as a matter of fact, I just came back from China 2 days ago.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there having money trying to come over here to buy properties. I can tell you that much. So hey, we are sitting on a gold mine right here. So I care less about what the economy is out there. I mean, economy is relative. You know, I mean, we are sitting on a gold mine. Whatever we do right here, not just only helping the homeowners, but also help ourselves also. Okay. So, anything else?
Any other questions?
Okay. So if not, then, well, thank you everybody for giving me this opportunity. I think Clint and you have a case that Selena is working with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she didn't sound as bad as you guys made her sound.
Oh, no worries, no, she's cool up front. Just don't have that paperwork at a certain time. When the deadline's approaching, Selena give you about 3 to 4, maybe a week out. She'll give you, hey, you got the paperwork yet?
Right.
Don't respond, see what happens.
Right.
I'll put it this way, it's better when she sends it via email. When she has to pick up the phone, it's a different story. Selena don't pick up the phone to say how you doing. Well, she might say how you doing, but after that, Johnny, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Selena, it ain't my fault, but it is your fault. You were the agent. You're the agent, go get it, so.
Sometimes
the
you need
email-
that extra push.
I love it that. I love it that.
That is why, some last year or 2 years, last year we cut out a lot of the agents that we don't want to do business with. They just give they just give us the thing and expect us to also do the agent's work.
Yeah.
We don't got paid for that,
Right.
You- But anyway,
They make it easy. Trust me. It's like I was telling Trayvon or whatnot. And you'll see, it's a different mindset dealing with out of them compared to most short sale negotiators that you're gonna run into. I mean, so much stress. I mean, it's so much stress that's moved out of the ring when you're dealing with out of them opposed to some other people that I try to deal with.
and actually, a lot of other people that used to do short sale, they're out of the business. A lot of the attorneys, they used to do short sales, but I know a lot of attorneys. Actually, I'm meeting a lot with another attorneys this week. They don't want to do short sale no more because they are billed by hours. And imagine, for a short sale that takes so long and they're not worth it. So a lot of them are out of the business. A lot of the title company used to do short sale. They don't want to do it no more, just because it's not their forte anyway. It's not their expertise. So, and again, our company is strictly negotiate short sale, nothing but negotiate short sale for you.
Alrighty?
All right, cool.
Any other questions, concerns?
All right.
Thank you, sir, as usual.
Yes,
All right,
thank you, Alan.
Hey, so I will have Selena continue to work with you on that thing. So when do you think that you can